What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here. Today, I want to talk to you about Wolverine, Enemy of the State. This is written by Mark Millar with art by John Romita Jr. for all the issues except for the last issue collected here, which is drawn by Cary Andrews, or Cary Andrews. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name. And this collects issues 20 through 32 of the Wolverine series that was going on around that time. So the story here is that Wolverine is kidnapped by the Hand, who is working with Hydra and AIM. Basically, they're all one giant organization at this point, and they turn him into an agent of Hydra, and then he starts wrecking all kinds of chaos on the superhero world. And this is basically one giant, really fun, really high-stakes action movie. And normally, if this was a movie, I wouldn't be into this kind of movie. Now, I like superhero movies, but I'm talking about like the high-octane action movies like the Fast and the Furious, something like that. Normally, that's not my bag, but taking that and doing it through the lens of a superhero story, I think it works really well here. Now, Wolverine, I can take him or leave him as a solo character. I think he works much better in a team setting, but there are a few solo Wolverine stories that I really like, and I think I like this one so much because it doesn't feel like so much a Wolverine story as a big, giant Marvel Universe story. The stakes are really high here, like I mentioned. Wolverine, he is the best he is at what he does, and what he does isn't very pretty, and I just want to say I'm really surprised I never saw that line in this story, especially when he was a bad guy. I feel like Millar very easily could have taken that line and twisted it whenever he was evil at one point, but he never does. But anyway, him being the best at what he does some serious damage to the superhero world. And there's some stuff that reverberated into, I know, the X-Men books for sure. Northstar, he is killed and then brought back to life as an agent of Hydra at one point in this, and that was definitely a big part of the new X-Men series that was going on at this time. And then this story ends with Northstar still out there somewhere, still evil. And I remember Mike Carey used Northstar a little bit in his adjectiveless X-Men run. I don't remember if he's the one who actually fixed up Northstar so that he was no longer brainwashed by the Hand, but he did use him a little bit. So this had consequences all across the X-Men books, and I want to say it probably had consequences across the rest of the Marvel Universe in places. This did a pretty big number on Hydra, although some of the smaller organizations within Hydra are still active at the end. We're straight up told that. The character of the Gorgon is introduced here, and I want to say I saw him in, I believe it was Secret Warriors, which was written by Jonathan Hickman and Brian Michael Bendis, which was a series that very heavily used Hydra as the main antagonist, and I believe the Gorgon was in that series, if I'm not mistaken, although I could be wrong. But this did have quite an impact on the Marvel Universe, which something being very impactful and having a huge crash on the world that it's set in, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good story, but this is very impactful, and it's a good story. I really enjoyed this. One thing I like about this is something that I also saw used when Captain America was revealed to be a Hydra agent in Nick Spencer's Captain America run just a few years ago. We get to see that Wolverine is working with the bad guys, but his character is still very much the same. And we even get to see him do some stuff that he would do when he's a good guy. For example, at one point, while he is working for Hydra, he goes to blow up a bank or something, and then there's these two guys who are about to rape a woman, and then he kills them and saves the woman. And that's pretty cool. And at one point, he was about to do something else evil, and then he stops and he pets a dog. And I thought that was really neat that bits of Wolverine's psyche is still there, even when he's under the control of the Hand. And this isn't a situation where slowly his real personality emerges and he's able to beat the brainwashing by himself. That's not the direction they went. He actually did need some mechanical help from S.H.I.E.L.D. to overcome the brainwashing, but way before that even happened, I thought it was really neat that we were still seeing bits of the real Wolverine there, even when he's working with the bad guys. And that's something that we got a little bit of in Nick Spencer's Captain America run, where even when he is 100% a Hydra agent, we still get to see a little bit of his moral code present in his character. And I thought that was really cool, because it would have been very easy to just have Wolverine be 100% evil working with Hydra and not have any of his former personality present. But I think it makes it much more nuanced when you have bits of the real Wolverine there there whenever he's attacking the X-Men school. We get to see him kind of arguing with himself. We have these two different caption boxes. One of them that is a light brown, that's the good Wolverine. He'll be talking about, like, this girl, she's really good. She's got psychic powers. I have to take her out quick before she does me some damage. And then you'll have the green caption box, which is basically the more evil Hydra version of Wolverine. And it'll say something like, yeah, let's just go ahead and kill her real quick. And you get to see these two sides of Wolverine while he's brainwashed, kind of arguing with each other. And it's really cool. I don't know what else to say about this. I really enjoyed this book. And that's kind of surprising to me because Mark Millar, a lot of times, he disappoints me. He goes for the extreme, if you will. It's really hard to explain, but he will do something that's just really... I don't know. It's hard to explain what he does without actually pointing to something. But this is one of those examples of him doing really good work. Now, again, it's a high-octane action story. So this isn't a modern classic or anything like that. If you don't like pages and pages of mindless action, which I still think is very enjoyable here, if you don't like that kind of thing, then you're not going to like this book. But I think that for a high-octane action story, this is very good. I enjoyed it very much. And I really liked... I don't think there was anything about this that I just really disliked. I think all in all, this was a very good book. I really enjoyed it. It makes me wish that Millar had stayed on Wolverine a little bit longer. I remember seeing an interview with him around the time that the story was wrapping up, and he basically said he didn't want to stay on any one book for too long because he felt like he would get complacent if he did, and then the quality of the book would suffer. And I respect that, even if I wish he had stayed on it a little longer. I think that he could have turned in some really solid Wolverine stuff, even outside of this long Hydra storyline, if he had wanted to have stayed a little bit longer. But he didn't. He wanted to go on and do other things, and that's fine. I respect him for having that opinion and sticking to it. Anyway, I don't have a whole lot else to say about this book. I think it's really good. On the back here, you have a quote by David Goyer saying that he hasn't enjoyed Wolverine this much since the Claremont and Byrne days, and I have to say, believe the hype. This is really good. This matches up to some of the best Wolverine stuff that you've ever seen. I really enjoyed this. I think this is even better than some of the best Wolverine stories that people put out there as being in the top 5. I enjoyed Wolverine, Enemy of the State. I hope that you guys like this review, and if you've read this book, let me know what you think in the comments below. In the meantime, I will see you guys later in the week with some other videos. You guys have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.